Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, distinguished guests, and welcome to Best Invest Conference 2018. My name is Anna Homenko, and I'm the owner and managing director of Trust and Corporate Services firm, Fiduciana Trust Cyprus Limited. It is my privilege to be asked to moderate this very important panel discussion of a very, very interesting subject as to what we should expect in the nearest future from Cyprus and Cyprus economy. Of course, during the past several years, the economy has developed really well, and of course, being international business center with an important role to play in the world economy, all foreign investors are wondering, was it a chance, was it luck, was it an effort, and is it here to stay, is it to remain? The past years, we have had extremely positive developments in all industries. We had an absolute boom in the tourism. We had extremely positive development in real estate industry. We had a huge increase in the number of building permits obtained by real estate development companies. We actually had boom in the actual real estate sales contract registered with the Cyprus Department of Lands and Surveys. Now we have a chance to actually discuss live with our distinguished panelists or their views on what will actually be happening during the next year and even during this year, because the economy and the dynamics are changing so rapidly. We cannot believe that things will stay in place even during the next 6 months. So we may expect a lot of positive changes, which I would like to believe they will be positive. Without any further delay, I would like to pass the floor to Mr. Angelos, and he can share his views on this subject.
Okay, let me start from the subject that I know better, which is the funds industry, that how we would develop during the year. Let me say that we have managed the Cyprus Investment Funds Association to become a full member of the EFAMA. The EFAMA is the European Fund Managers Association. And we have succeeded in 2 years to become full members, and at the same time, in June, they have decided to hold their annual general meeting in Cyprus. The participants in this annual general meeting are representatives from 28 countries, as well as around 80 corporates, which are huge firms that are leaders in the funds industry, will be coming to Cyprus to hold a 2-day annual conference, which I believe this is very important to bring Cyprus in the market. And that's one thing that is happening during this year, as well as we are planning again the International Funds Conference that will be in November. And again, as in the previous years, we expect participants around 400 to 500 participants in such conferences. So we are trying very much during this year to develop further the funds industry, and especially now that we are passing the new legislation, everything now is in Parliament and Attorney General's office, and by June, we will have the new tools through which we will be able to move forward. Other sectors, of course, that we are working on at the same time, it's the film industry. As Mr. Theodore said, we should expand in other areas, not to concentrate only on sectors on tourism and real estate, but another area that we are heavily promoting currently with incentives from the government, but as well as planning to hold certain events to attract the film industry participants, and especially from India, where they have shown already an interest in them engaging with Cyprus in this area. This is another area that I believe we should concentrate in moving forward the Cypriot economy.
Thank you very much. This is very interesting. This is very interesting and very informative. My question is, can Cyprus actually become a #1 funds industry place in the European Union? Can we drive it forward? I believe that our workforce and location as well as tax system allows it? And is there any possibility in your view to drive it forward?
Well, definitely we are driving Cyprus towards becoming one of the alternative fund jurisdictions within Europe. It is impossible to become number one because Luxembourg and Ireland have been in the market for so many years. Malta has followed up 10 years ago. We have been moving this industry in the last 2-3 years now, so it's a young industry for Cyprus. And I must say that we are latecomers in this. Therefore, we promote Cyprus as an alternative jurisdiction based on our geographical position as well as the tax incentives that we offer. So we believe that we have the skills and the necessary tools to enable Cyprus to become a very important funds jurisdiction within Europe.
Thank you very much. Dr. Theodore Panayotou, may we ask you also to comment on Cyprus' potential and your views on how things will develop in the nearest couple of years?
I think already I said enough. I would just say that I'm an optimist, that things will work out. My only concern is sometimes not to delay some things and pay the cost of delay, or take more risk than we have to. I think that two things you should be watching for. Is first, that we avoid the practices of the past that resulted in the bad experience we have with the economic and financial crisis. When you see appointments being made with connections, when you see all this kind of rusfetti, what we call peddling of influence here and there, you will see that we don't at last decide to use meritocracy in everywhere, in government, in business, everywhere. If we are not moving in that direction, then you should worry. That's one thing I would say. Avoid the practices of the past. Second, diversify. In real estate, you say there are three important factors: location. In sustainable growth, there are three important factors: diversify. The example of the fund management industry, because I was involved a little bit in the beginning with Mr. Evangelos in 3 years ago. It was non-existent, nothing, zero, zilch. And most people were saying, what are you doing? Remember, Cyprus can never get into that business. 3 years later, when I was listening to Angelos' presentation, I felt really how many things could be accomplished from zero within 3 years. The same thing we can do in health, in exporting health services, despite the problems of our health system, our own health system. We have, for example, in plastic surgery, in dentistry, in recuperative medicine, we have competitive advantage. We are not exploiting. Educational services, despite the problems of our educational system at the secondary education and primary education, we are doing very well in higher education, and we can be exporting services and high quality services, not like the ones exported from the occupied north.
So your view is that we are going to have an optimistic future? Optimistic,
provided that we don't follow the bad practice of the past, and second, we diversify our economy to many more sectors. Of course, you're a small economy, you cannot have everything. We have to specialize, but don't over-specialize. You have to have the right balance. Mm-hmm. And I think the example of the fund management industry is a classic example of how we could do it in other sectors. Thank you.
Do you feel that we are psychologically and strategically in different place to what we were in 2013?
Psychology.
Psychologically and strategically.
Oh, economics is all psychology. All psychology, believe me. And that's what we have to be careful. Not turn the psychology negative. If the psychology is positive, it accumulates. It builds on itself. If it turns negative, then it decumulates. It becomes like an avalanche. So we have to keep the positive sentiment, the momentum, by attacking those issues that I mentioned before that are remaining, risks and challenges, which I believe we can do them. I can do it. And but indeed, economic growth is a maintenance of a positive sentiment, a positive outlook, and keep building it.
Great. Thank you very much for such a positive feedback. And of course, we are looking forward to the next couple of years and to achieving and building more in Cyprus. I would like to invite to the discussion Captain Eberhard Koch. Of course, with Cyprus being the second shipping management country in the EU, we would like to hear your views on what possibly could be improved in the system which will allow better expansion of this line of business, which of course will boost our economy.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Natalia, thank you for having me. I'm representing an industry, a growing industry. Every day we are growing. We are employing 4,500 people in Cyprus. And we have very good reasons to believe that Cyprus will be one of the most attractive shipping centers in the world. We are already the shipping star of the Mediterranean, and I strongly believe it. I'm living here since 17 years. I'm a ship owner, and there is no better place in the world to be a ship owner than in Cyprus. The relationship with the government is extremely close. Since 1st of March, we have our own shipping minister, which shows that the president is aware of the strength of the Cyprus shipping community. We are contributing 7% of the GDP, of the Cyprus GDP, and we have very good reasons to believe that this in the coming years to come will be double-digit. Cyprus has an enormous, tremendous opportunity for the future. We are only 120 miles north of the Suez Canal. We are the first port in Europe. So the shipping industry can be the promoter of Cyprus. And by promoting the Cyprus flag, the shipping industry has so many relationships with other industries that we, at the same time, by promoting the Cyprus flag, we can also promote Cyprus in total. We can have insurance companies in Cyprus. We can have further funds in Cyprus. We can have cargo brokerage in Cyprus. We can have suppliers, etc., etc. The catalog is very, very big. So I'm very optimistic about Cyprus for the future. And again, there is no other country where an industry has such a close cooperation with the government on a daily basis.
Thank you very much. This is great to hear that government is supporting the industry. Excuse me, there are some. It's great to hear that government is supporting the industry in such a important way, and of course we look forward to seeing the shipping industry to develop even more in the next couple of years. I would like to pass the microphone to Mr. Vladimir Zrazhevsky, who will share some views with us also on his opinion as to how the Cyprus economy will develop. And my question is there anything that we could offer to the foreign investors? Is there anything that we can do further in order to encourage the large international corporations to relocate their headquarters to Cyprus and to establish more serious presence on the island? Is there anything that maybe could be done, or would you view it as such?
Ladies and gentlemen, initially thank you, and thank you for nice question, and I have a very good opportunity to summarize a lot of words which I've already heard. I share the opinion of Dr. Panayotou that diversification on the one hand, it's a nice thing, because we face with a lot of different occasions, and there are some countries which are specialized in a one or two sphere, like in a financial sphere or something else, then they drop down significantly due to obvious reason of environmental. And Cyprus already successfully find several so-called blue ocean. One of them, it's development, shipping, pharmaceutical, education, and okay, we can go further. And the next, it's very important pivot for further growth. It could be a trigger for further development. It's an attractive opportunity for entire different companies, especially IT companies, which can, as you know, during the last several years, more than 10,000 IT specialists moved from different countries to Cyprus. Why? Can Cyprus could be a new hub in IT? Why not? Because these people, it's not only to bring, the new vision. They bring their salaries, they have to lease apartment or to buy house and so on. It's very interesting, it's very good. And if government and if all of international business community can create some very reasonable and attractive conditions for them, it could be not the only IT specialist. Now, as I know a lot of big companies, because you know that it's a new term has installed. It's not only shell company, it's a breastplate company. And that is why many big companies which place their headquarters in some attractive jurisdiction, like in Luxembourg, they have to physically move their employees, their staff to some nice place. But Cyprus, okay, you know, there are several quite attractive advantages of Cyprus. Okay, it's English, plus British law, it's very stable environmental, it's a participation in the EU, nice tax regime, my predecessors already told about it. And okay, what else? We need to create some adjustable scheme maybe for tax, for something else, and because Cyprus, absolutely agree, but diversification, as Mr. Buffett says, it could be backside of incompetence, but we need to place in several elephants on the same time, and that is why Cyprus potentially can grow. It's not only development. Okay, you can see now that 30 skyscrapers in a sea road. Okay, it's nice. On the one hand, it's very good, but on the other hand, we should be clever enough and we should support to the developers to fulfill all this project. And after that, Cyprus will receive absolutely new phase and the new future. That's all.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, panel, for sharing your views.
And I would like to also to interfere. So our time is up, but I would like to ask just one last question. All of you, with every one of you, I can talk for hours. Now we have 1 minute to summarize what you've heard today at the panel from other panelists, or maybe you want to say something we did not mention. So it's just extra 4 minutes to your panel. 1, 2, 3, 4. Angelos, let's start with you.
One thing that it's worth mentioning is that we should be more into organizing knowledge centers so that we can build up the knowledge in different sectors and achieve this diversification. Without these knowledge centers, I believe that it takes a longer time to achieve what you want. And the universities in Cyprus could be used for this purpose and help each industry accordingly.
Theo, he mentioned universities, this is your subject. So what about education?
I will agree on the university and the export of educational service and all this, But I would say one more general statement is that we are a small country, and the small country should specialize in things that smallness is not a constraint. When my colleagues here on the panel said shipping industry, the shipping industry is not constrained by the size of Cyprus. The world is its playground. The other colleague mentioned about the IT industry, the software industry. Is not constrained by the size of the country. It gives access to the country, to the rest of the world. And I would say the technologies, something that my CIM, our school, is investing heavily in terms of education. The new technologies, whether it's called blockchain technology, Internet of Things, machine learning, artificial intelligence. There are so much that we can do. Relates to education, relates to attracting IT businesses to Cyprus. And here, it doesn't matter whether it's America or Cyprus or Russia. It doesn't matter the size because of the country. It's the world. And you have access to the world. And that's where we should be. The same as in the case of tourism and property. And it doesn't matter so much the size of the country. It matters, but to some, not as much as in other industries. In the case of shipping and IT and so on, and fund management, the size of the country is not a constraint. The world could be our arena. Thank you.
Eberhard, he mentioned shipping so many times, you have to respond.
We should not forget about our children. We have to tell our children how big opportunities there are. It's not only lawyer, dentist, or auditor. So many different opportunities for our children in Cyprus. The new Maritime Academy in Larnaca is only one example where we instruct Cypriot youngsters to study in Cyprus and to become our future chief engineers and captains. And one thing more, please, if you allow me, we need more international banks in Cyprus. We need more support from international banks.
Yes, Vladimir, international banks.
Okay, well, I represent local banks. It's a very important issue. But look, I agree with you, definitely. It's absolutely clear. But look, the world now has changed significantly, and we should change with them. And it's not only one advantage. Yes, I agree with you. Health and wealth in nation, it's very important. Well-educated young people, okay, it's the future of the country. But, okay, Cyprus is a small country, but it's a crossroad. And Cyprus should use the advantages of this geographic location. And also, Cyprus should give opportunity. I share this opinion concerning the banks, because banks and funds, what are their goals? They should arrange the system, how to attract money and how to distribute money. Cypriot and foreigners should have an easy opportunity to spend their money in Cyprus, to invest money in Cyprus, to receive their profit here in Cyprus. If we can do it, a lot of different sphere, a lot of new companies will come to Cyprus and will bring the prosperity future. That's all.
Thank you very much. Anna, would you summarize all this? For the first time in my career with my conferences, we are 15 minutes late to finish the panel, but it worth it. So what do you think on the overall of this panel?
It's a good sign that we have taken up extra time, I think, because the discussion was very interesting. Happy to hear that we have a really positive outlook for the years to come. Extremely interesting thoughts, and we hope that many new industries are going to come in the spotlight. We are surely going to have governmental support, and we are going to have also communication between the government and industry with the view to bring some positive changes and maybe some improvements about. So I'm sure that we are going to have new diverse industries coming up, such as film. Of course, I'm a great believer that Cyprus should also develop medical tourism, because I think we can do well. We are well positioned strategically. We are close to Eastern Europe, and I believe that with some assistance from professionals, we can do really well there. So it could be the next destination. and we could also develop that line of business. Of course, shipping is going to thrive, and I'm happy to hear how well we are doing. And indeed, a very important remark was made as to the need of international banking here and international representation, or maybe Cyprus branches of international banks. And if we are going to work well with the government and offer a good regime, Cyprus has a great potential and for the years to come, and not only.
I think, dear friends, we need to give a great big round of applause to our panelists. Thank you very much.